Hey nerds, what's up? Today's video is challenge number 3 of the Femme Fatale Readathon, and these are talking about your favorite female characters. So let's just get right on into this. So first off, I want to start off with one of the more obvious main female characters that is very loved by me and probably a lot of people in the booktube community, which is Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. And this is just like a staple in this video. It was required, and so I thought I'd give it out first. And Hermione, I feel like, at least for me, she was very relatable growing up for me. I was also the know-it-all kid who was always raising their hand, who always had a book in hand, and people would make fun of me for always reading. And so it was just nice to have this character who was basically me in a nutshell in this book while I was also growing up reading it. And so that was really lovely to have growing up, and I think that a lot of people in this community probably had similar growing up things if they were readers from a young age. And so she's necessary. The next character I want to talk about is probably also someone that a lot of you guys are thinking about in your head right now because this book has taken over BookTube, and it is Evelyn Hugo from The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo is a badass Slytherin, and even though I'm a Ravenclaw, I consider myself a Slytherclaw, and so I so appreciate reading about Evelyn and her ambition and how she took the world by storm, and not only just like, you know, famously for her own beauty, which is great, but also was very, you know, kind of conniving in getting what she wanted from her husbands, from the world, from the businesses that were producing the movies and stuff like that, and just in her life. Like, I loved everything about this character, even though she's not really likable, like she's not all the time likable. I just loved seeing that she didn't let her being a woman or her being beautiful or her being Latinx ruin her during a time frame when all of those things were very looked down upon, at least, you know, way more than it is now, even though we still have some work to do today, people. But I just really appreciated her character so much. Next character I want to talk about is also kind of, you know, basic, I guess, but it would be Calaena Sardothian from the Throne of Glass series. She is just like the typical badass murderer, you know, the badass killer assassin who can just rip you apart with her hands if she so chose. And I love a good, strong female character like this. And I quote that because that's kind of, you know, for a while there that was all we got. And so I like that we have a lot of diversity going on in what girls look like in YA novels, but I still love this, you know, stereotype essentially of this like badass bitch. I love it. I love it so much. So I needed to mention Calaena Sardothian because she is queen. The next character I want to talk about now is from The Girl Made of Stars, and this is Mara, who in this book, Mara's twin brother allegedly raped her best friend at a party. And so this whole book is about, one, Mara trying to find out if it's true, and then deciding how she should proceed once she finds out whether or not it's true, and basically whose side should she take in the whole process. And it was such a fascinating take on this event that happens to people and women all over the fucking country and the world. A lot of times in books and fiction we only get the perspective of the girl who was raped, and in this book we watched how that one event affects so many people for, I mean, days, weeks, years to come. And so I really loved the way that this book was written, and I loved the nuances that it had, and I thought it was so well done and like carefully poised, I guess. It was so good. And Mara is such a real character, and I loved every minute of having to watch her deal with her friend and her hurts and her pain and her own pain and her brother's pain and everyone involved. It was really, really amazing. The next characters that I need to talk about are kind of a 2-in-1, and you'll see what I mean when I say they're Wanda and Melanie from The Host by Stephanie Meyer. So if you haven't read this book is about aliens who come to Earth and they need hosts, so they essentially take over the bodies of humans. And most of the time when the alien takes over the host body, the consciousness of the human goes away. They kind of die out, so to speak. They can't hold their own consciousness while the host is there. But Melanie sure as hell is not giving up so easily. And so you have Wanda inside of her as an alien, and you have Melanie all sharing one body. And this book is so good. It's about, you know, trying to figure out how to, when the power dynamic is here, how to recognize each other as here, as well as, you know, just the equality and equity of those things. And I think this book is so good. I know it says Stephanie Meyer, and so a lot of you, if you haven't read it already, and you, especially if you think Twilight is trash, which, like, I get it, you're fine. You probably are right, even though I really love Twilight. If you think all of that and you're really skeptical of me suggesting this book, one, the writing is significantly better. This book came out after the Twilight series, and her writing has thoroughly improved. And two, this book is just, there's all of the shitty tropes that happen in that are not in this, and there are still tropes. I mean, it's a YA novel. Of course there's tropes, but they're different tropes, and I think that this book is really good. Honestly, I've reread this book so many times, like, it's so good. Those are 5 of my favorite female characters, 5.5, 6, I don't know, I kind of stole one in there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to comment down below some of your favorite characters and what books they're from, because maybe I haven't read it yet and maybe I should. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It would really appreciate it. I make videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so you can always hit that little notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a video. And I'll see you guys very soon with a new one. Bye!